Hello everyone and welcome back. Today is going to be a little bit different. I know it's been some time since I've worked on this project with y'all, but due to life I had to kind of upgrade the amount of time I had on this. But without further ado, let's get started. I'll kind of show you my process in turning sketches into vector images. Vector images is basically a way for us as graphic designers to make it into the computer and very easy to manipulate and later hopefully get into mockups and prints. But I'll go through that here later. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So this is obviously my screen. This is kind of what I kind of go for, and this is kind of my setup for the whole thing. Now I did pick out a couple that I actually did enjoy. I did also mark the ones that I think would work out better for what the brand mark wanted and kind of keep that in mind. Now the first thing that I always like to do is place my sketches into the computer, and can always do that by going to File, Place, and pick the picture and go ahead and put it into the computer. And I also like to go into the Properties panel, clicking on it, and change the opacity to 50%. And then what I also like to do is lock that layer so I cannot manipulate it whatsoever, and then just create a new layer so I can copy on top. So one of the ones that I actually really do enjoy is this one. This one was kind of also fun, and I really kind of like the look of this one, but kind of manipulated it in a way that a little bit better. This one was kind of fun too, but I was thinking kind of combining those two maybe and do something anyway, so we'll go ahead. But the first one I want to get done is probably this one right here. So because everything is all kind of messed up, and if you actually want to keep straight lines and everything, I recommend hitting Control R. This will bring up the rulers, and this will just kind of keep everything in line, because I did not keep everything in line. So I'm just gonna keep it nice and clean. And what I kind of want to do is just make sure all my stuff is nice and perfect, because computers keep everything nice and perfect. They don't have that human touch. Anyway, so here we go. I'm gonna lock this layer just in case to get rid of the rulers, and let me get started. So the first thing I want to do is create this. I'm gonna do just straight up black outline, kind of keep that. And what I'm gonna do also, I think the easiest way for this one is using the tool to kind of go ahead and kind of change it around here, and kind of go ahead and just changing it so that way it can go ahead and kind of match up. Using the shape builder tool is gonna, I think, be the biggest change with this. So this one's kind of easy, and the way you use the shape builder tool is pretty easy. I'll actually go ahead and make that T right now for it. All you have to do is select the shapes, go here to the shape builder, just Control M. I just click on it and just make it easier. Just kind of draw on it, and it makes that shape perfectly aligned. So now for the lightning bolt, I'm just going to use the curvature tool. Actually, I'm going to use just the regular line tool for this. Okay. And I'm just going to make it as perfect as possible, just to kind of keep it So I kind of like that. I think I'm gonna move few things, and I'm just kind of showing you guys a little bit of the process here, kind of seeing what I kind of like want, kind of matching up a little bit, maybe shrink it down just a little bit. And I'm just gonna get it back down. And that's kind of the body of it. And I'm gonna hit one of the biggest things that I've learned from Aaron Draplin is going ahead and copying it. This time I'm gonna actually close the ruler so you can kind of see it better. And then again, this is where I'm gonna select everything and create this shape, and boom. And I just noticed a problem. It's gonna be right here. I want to change that up a little bit. Okay, so I like this. Going, make it this perfect. Change that. Boom. So you do have to be careful, and I'm gonna show you another trick real quick. If you hit Shift Control O here, you get the bounding box, which is always fun. That's always helpful. But my bad, that was Control O. But if you see this kind of stuff, I'll go into it later, how to fix that. But for the most part, that's more or less what I kind of wanted. Yeah, so the only issue with the bounding box or the shape builder, because it does turn everything to, I can move this and kind of like play with it a little bit, and I can go ahead and try to fix it there. However, I didn't want that, so I'm gonna hit Control Z, kind of get everything back in order. Okay, and you can kind of see that the T right here is kind of off. That's why it's making that weird. So I'm just gonna edit that real quick. Focus, shape builder tool again, and I did miss this spot, so that was my bad. Okay, so there is a little bit of an issue there. So I will go ahead and just fix that up. I actually kind of like that anyway, so I'll just have to kind of figure it out. So I'll go ahead and fix that, but for right now, that's kind of more or less what I want. I'm going to hit Control C, Control F right, or Control V right here. Scale it up so I can kind of see it better. You kind of always want to keep everything scalable. That's kind of the main goal as a graphic designer, is you want to be able to make a logo where it's this far apart and you can kind of still see it. And then I think I hit that thunderbolt with the T pretty well on that one. The next one I kind of want to try is this one. This one's a little bit different due to the fact that it is in a circle. And then Control C, Control F to kind of get that going. And what I'm going to also do is use this to kind of try to get those curse. I'm just going to kind of cheat a little bit because I'm trying to just get this little curve right here. And as long as those There's that. I'm gonna scale it down just a little bit. And I'll go ahead and fix that later. Now the reason why you're seeing a green color is I'm obviously using the same layer for them. I'm gonna be honest, and I haven't really seen any graphic designer kind of not use it, but I do want to say that it's probably best practice to kind of layer everything different. However, just because time is money, this is just kind of how my workflow usually goes. And I'm just kind of matching it up a little bit. Okay. And I'm actually going to use the curvature tool right here, and I'm just going to mark everything real quick. Nothing fancy. And what I'm going to do real quick is get all these corners nice and straight. This is kind of just a newer tool that I've liked since learning about it when I was in college. And boom, I got the lightning bolt with the T kind of pointing. Now I'm just going to add that nice little curve. And I kind of did that. You kind of don't see the T as much. And again, I like to use the shape builder tool to just kind of get a nice little bit. And I noticed that I actually have to turn this up just a little bit to kind of get that T shape going. So again, kind of like how that looks. Gonna go over here, pick it up. I usually do about 3 or 4 of these, to be honest, to kind of get that going. The main thing with this one is just to kind of see a little bit difference, because one of the biggest things that I've kind of also learned is, yeah, sometimes your sketch will look good on paper, but when you go into a computer and actually try to make it up, it doesn't work. It just does not work, and that's okay. So out of these two, I kind of wanted to go with this one. And again, I think I'm actually going to bring in this, and again, go ahead. There's a reason also why I put it in kind of this teardrop shape, because they want to keep an earthy vibe to it. And I was thinking earth, water kind of thing, electricity, kind of try to figure that out. But I don't know if I want to keep the teardrop shape. I kind of like just the logo in itself, and it's a little bit different than that one. So again, I'm going to lock it. I'm actually going to work on the lightning bolt first before the T. Okay. Change that to black. Oh, and just to let you know, this isn't pure black. You can always check by going here. Oh, it is pure black. Okay, cool. Usually, if you go through that square, it's usually like right around here, it may look black, but it might be like that. Try go 0, 0, 0. That's how you always know. Okay. Control C, Control F. Rotate. There it goes. Gonna want to make it thick. Actually, so that's my T. Again, I'm just gonna go in here with my line tool, make it nice and straight. I'm trying to keep it kind of corporate, I guess you could say, just to kind of have these nice little like lines and everything, just to kind of make it a little bit more corporate, because this is a pristine clothing line. That's kind of the key, is pristine being a little bit more recognizable, kind of keep everything together. And you notice my line is not 1 point, so I have to change that. I'm going here, Control C, Control F, scale it down, rotate it. I'm gonna get the direct select tool here, kind of line everything up to where I want. So yeah, all I'm doing is just kind of lining everything up so it's kind of hitting those lines a little bit easier, so I can kind of see it. And again, I'll go in here, so you can kind of see it a little bit better now, what I'm kind of talking about. And I think I really actually do like that. So again, I'm gonna hide the rulers real quick so I can kind of see everything. I'm actually gonna delete these. So you can kind of see it a little bit easier. I'm gonna select everything. And then I'm going to get my shape builder. I love the shape builder tool. I think it's one of the best tools available, honestly. Just because it just makes everything more unified, and you can kind of edit each element a little bit easier. So I like to use it a lot. And I think those are going to be my 3. So again, I'll make a separate copy here because you never know. And go over here and scale it up. So that's going to be kind of the lesson today, and I kind of want to pull off a little poll if I could, but which one do you guys like? Okay, do you like A, B, or C? Personally, if I was going to go either one of these, honestly, I think these would be a lot of fun. But these are kind of the logo types, and that's kind of like the process of turning your sketches into vector images so they can be manipulated and edited in a way. And again, the biggest advice I think in this video is you might have a really cool sketch and everything will work out really well, but when you put it into the computer, it might not work well. And there was a few that I was kind of considering to use, but the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, yeah, this won't work very well on the computer. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you on the next time. And this time we'll go into more depth on how to use color and mockups and kind of how to edit everything into a more professional way. So thank you guys, and hope you have a good day.